Good morning, beloveds. The juxtaposition of the wolves over my head and then the cute child's dragon over my shoulder is interesting. All right. I spent all day outside yesterday, and so my eyes itch again. We got a lot done, though. It was good. All right, it is September 12th. Our title is I Am Spirit, and our quote is, He discovereth deep things out of darkness, and bringeth out to light the shadow of death. And that is Job 12:22. There is a spiritual body which cannot deteriorate. The spiritual body is already within you. As much of it appears as is recognized. Spiritual perfection always responds to man's consciousness, but it can respond only in such a degree as he becomes aware of it. It is because this inward perfection is so insistent that you maintain a physical body, but because you are an individual with volition, you can, as it were, hang a curtain between your physical life and its spiritual cause. The spiritual realization helps to withdraw this curtain. Every statement you make about your body or belief you hold about it with deep feelings, which causes the mind to accept spirit as the substance of the body, tends to heal. Say, I realize that there is a divine presence at the center of my being. I let this recognition flow through my entire consciousness. I let it reach down into the very depths of my being. I rejoice in this realization. I am now made vigorous and whole. I process the vitality of the infinite. I am strong and well. Every breath I draw is a breath of perfection, revitalizing and renewing every cell of my body. I am born of the Spirit. I am in the Spirit. I am the Spirit made manifest. All right. So there's there's three things about this one. First off, you are a spiritual body that cannot deteriorate. So whatever is going on with your physical body has nothing to do with your spirit. Okay? And yet everything to do with your physical body. Nothing can happen to the spiritual body. There is no force on earth, no force that can do anything to the spiritual body. And yet, the spiritual body does support and maintain the physical body. And I'm going to say to a point. Because the physical body is only designed to last for a certain period of time. And everybody's period of time is different. These bodies are not meant to last forever. The spiritual body that animates it does last forever. These are like he used the illusion a few days ago. These are vehicles. They are meant to get us around and to let us do while we are here. In this form. There are things that we are here to do in this form. So that's what these are. So then that point is that the spiritual body does have power over the physical body. Meaning that if we access the spiritual body, the spiritual body can heal the physical body. There's a book called Spontaneous Remissions, and that's exactly what it is about. It is about people who reversed like amazing health conditions practically overnight. And when you read a lot of those stories, faith plays a large role in that. And that is what Ernest is saying. Ernest is saying, if you fully activate your spiritual body, then it can do amazing things to your physical body. Yeah, yeah, it can do amazing things. There was a third point in there, and I'll get there when I get there. So, yeah, okay. So, title, I am spirit. And the quote is from Job. Go read Job. There's a whole lot of really interesting stuff in Job if you've not read it. He discovereth deep things out of darkness and brings out to the light the shadow of death. And that's Job 12:22. Darkness isn't anything to be afraid of. Death isn't anything to be afraid of. Grief is nothing to be feared, but something to be experienced. Grief is not something that you want to stuff. Grief is definitely something that you want to experience and you want to move through. And I'm not sure that I can tell you that grief ever completely goes away. But it does get manageable. It does get manageable. And that's partly about recognizing the spiritual body, knowing that no one has ever truly gone. So, there is a spiritual body which cannot deteriorate. All right, that's what I'm talking about. There is a part of you that nothing can touch. Absolutely nothing. It comes from a place that Jesse talks about as the place that nothing has ever been wrong. That is where the spiritual body comes from. Nothing can touch that. Let me reiterate that. Nothing can touch the spiritual body. It cannot deteriorate. It cannot be harmed. It cannot be hurt in any way. It cannot get sick. It cannot die. It is a spiritual body that has always existed and will always exist. It is who you are at the core of your being. It is your divine center of God consciousness. It is who you are. This spiritual body is already within you. As I said, as Ernest and I are telling you, as much of it appears as is recognized. So it is up to us to know that that body is there, to recognize that that body is who we are, not this. This is a vehicle. This is part of who we are, but it's not the whole of who we are. And it is not even the largest part of us. Spiritual perfection always responds to man's consciousness, but it can respond only in such a degree as he becomes aware of it. So it is our consciousness that activates the spiritual body. Dr. Goswami talks about the five bodies. The what he calls the gross body is the material body, and then the last one is the bliss body. Well, you got 3 steps in between, according to him. One of them's a mental body, one's an emotional body, and I always forget what the third one is. So it is work to get from, because we get so focused on this body that we forget about the spirit body, we forget about the bliss body, and so that is the point of spiritual practice. I would say that the point of religion to some degree was to remind us about the spiritual body, to remind us where we came from, where we're going to go to. Even it wasn't meant to distract from the work that we do here. But I'm not going to get on my soapbox about religion. Not today. Not today. It is because this inward perfection is so insistent that you maintain a physical body. Okay, so the physical body is part of who we are, and the spiritual body needs it for the time period that we are here. So it insists on us having one. It's part of the wholeness. But because you are an individual with volition, which is a fancy way of saying free will, you can, as it were, hang a curtain between your physical life and its spiritual cause. You can create the illusion of separation. And you don't create it by yourself. You don't. It is because of the way that we are taught. Society, religion, culture, gender, all of these things can get between us and who we are. And until we go and do the work, the spiritual work, to reveal who we are at the core of our being, then we can let this confuse us. I'm never going to tell you that the material world is bad. I am going to tell you that the material world can be confusing, and it's up to us to do the work to draw that curtain back, to draw that veil back. Spiritual realization helps to withdraw this curtain, okay? This kind of work, be it listening to speakers, reading this kind of material, going and working with a community, because we can't do the work for you. All we can do is plant lamp posts and guide signs. That's what we do. Still your work to do. So, spiritual realization helps to withdraw this curtain. Every statement you make about your body or belief that you hold about it with deep feeling causes the mind to accept spirit as substance of the body, tends to heal. All right? So, here's the $64,000 question. How do you talk to your body? How do you talk to your body? Either out loud or internally with deep feeling. Because I know I get caught up in the gender advertising, the advertising stereotypes, and I get really upset sometimes because things don't fit the way I think they should. Well, clothes are made mass market. They don't fit the way they used to because they're made to fit generic bodies, and ain't none of us got generic bodies. And so I get really upset. And then I talk to myself. This is not healthy. Okay? So what my goal is to ignore the label on the clothes and not get upset. And then compliment myself on how well I move. When I run, that's exactly what I do. I talk to myself kindly. I call myself baby girl. I tell myself that I can do this. That kind of stuff. In fact, I just posted it on the Facebook page, I want to say yesterday, about a new way to self-care. I'm going to talk to myself the way I talk to a dog. Or in my case, the way I talk to a cat. Lovingly. Hey, sweet girl. And that's part of it. That's part of it. That is part of the way that you take care of the physical body. The other part of the way you take care of the physical body is to, as he says, say, these are power statements. These are these are excellent parts to put in treatment. Use them exactly the way they're written or rewrite them. Ernest, we are open at the top. Science of Mind is open at the top. So absolutely, if these words work for you, use them. And if they don't, change them until they do. So here are your affirmations. I realize that there is a divine presence at the center of my being. I come from God. I'm made by God. I'm made of God. I let this recognition flow through my entire consciousness. There is not a place within me that God doesn't touch. I let it reach down into the very depths of my being. I rejoice in this realization because I know I'm made of good stuff. Good stuff. I am now made vigorous and whole. I possess the vitality of the infinite. I am strong and well. Every breath I draw is a breath of perfection. It's a breath of wholeness. Revitalizing and renewing every cell of my body. I am born of the Spirit. Right there. I am born of the Spirit. You are born of the Spirit. Does that not make you sit up a little straighter? I am in the Spirit. I am the Spirit made manifest. Okay? You are the Spirit made manifest. You are a beloved child of God, always and forever, in whom God is well pleased. It's a state of grace. God made us. And dare I say, God made us for a reason, but the reason is simply to be. There's nothing we have to do. Nothing we have to do. All right, so the mission, should we choose to accept it? The mission is to realize that there's a divine presence at the center of our being. The mission is to realize who we are. Who we are. Beloved children of God, we are spirit made manifest. We are the walking, talking, listening, divine activity centers of God. That's who we are. All right, and as I always do, I encourage you to do something loving for yourself, do something kind for yourself, do something compassionate for yourself, whatever that looks like today. Today, that looks like a nap, because I didn't get one yesterday. And then I stayed up too late talking to my cousin on Facebook, so, you know. But it was a good conversation, and I always enjoy that. So I'm looking forward to seeing him. The circumstances at which we gather are not what we would choose, but we choose them because. So, I do encourage you to do something to engage your mind and your body today, or if Sunday is your day of rest, then rest. When you engage your mind and your body, that doesn't mean you have to exercise. It does mean to move. That's it. That's it. Get moving. Especially if you need to change your perspective, a short walk will help so much with that. Go get your face full of sun first thing in the morning. Get those hormones flowing the way that they should. They have a natural Krebs cycle. They do. It's called a circadian rhythm. Drink plenty of water. And we do have some weather coming, so be safe. Do what you need to do to prep. I don't know what the weather's going to look like, but it could be really wet. And so stay alive. Don't drive through water that you don't know. But enjoy the rain. I do enjoy rain. I love to read in the rain. All right. And I would also encourage you, open the windows of your soul. Allow the breath of heaven to remind you do live in heaven right now. It is all around us. Everything around us is made of God's stuff, including us. And it's important to remember that. So look for the good. The more you look, the more you have, the more you have, the more there will be. It's the way it works. Just like practicing the kindness and compassion on yourself, it makes it permanent, but it also gives you a bank so that you have plenty to share. All right. I am going to go eat breakfast because my husband baked blueberry muffins. I'm kind of excited about that. He adds extra fresh blueberries, and so these look to be a little wet and messy, but it's good. It's good. And know that we will have an amazing service right here on Facebook Live for you at 11 a.m., and it will be on the Creative Life Spiritual YouTube channel later tonight. When I say that, I usually get it posted around 10 o'clock at night, but that's just me. So it'll be there. Reverend David should be on Facebook Live around 5 p.m. with you. And as always, you can catch us on all the social medias. Creative Life Spiritual Center is the Facebook and the YouTube, and Creative Life Spark is the Instagram, and I am the Running Rev Ryan on all three platforms. So feel free to check them out. If you need content, we're there. All right, beloveds. Do what you need to do to make it a great day, a fantastic day, an amazing day, a wonderful day, a good day. And if that is too much pressure, simply have a day. Know that you're loved, and I will see you next time.